Do's and don'ts for felling wedges. Watch this, I think there's something new for everyone. Absolute no-go, widening a cut like this. Please really avoid doing that. If you cut into the trunk like that, as if making a notch, the angle is always too steep. The wedge tip gets pushed into the stump and the wedge just slips out on you. If you cut in too far, you'll end up with a cut edge at the bottom. And that's where the wedge can get damaged or pushed right back out. Always widen it like this, a long flat angle right up to the hinge. That means tip at the hinge, tilt the chainsaw up slightly and drive it across. That's how it's done. That's an absolute no-go. That's a perfectly widened cut. Long flat angle up to the hinge, no cut edge inside. I can get the felling wedge way in, so it has a large contact surface. Now this is a bit of a mistake. The error is the tree wants to fall in this direction and the wedge is set almost at 90 degrees to it. That puts stress on the wedge and causes premature wear because the tree keeps pushing the wedge tip away the further it extends. That puts more strain on our threads. It's just not necessary. Just set it in the felling direction, you'll relieve the wedge and enjoy the tool for longer. 3 more important tips for setting it. Go ahead, this weighs 5 kilos, give it some momentum. It'll sit tighter that way. You can also really pre-tension it, then it compresses the wood, which is vital for a heavy back leaner. Loosen it again, try to push it further in, and never set it here. The wood from a root flare like this, once cut away, it won't hold. It'll break out on you and then you've got a problem. But you'll notice if you pre-tension it fully while setting it, you'll see it breaking. If you don't pre-tension it, you'll have a problem once the cut is finished. Be careful with wood like that. As we can see here with the viewers, an absolute don't. The wedge is completely dry. That's not okay at all. And here's a really important practical tip. Everyone should really take this to heart. Hang a brush on your combi can. You can quickly grease the spindle out in the woods and coat these surfaces with oil as well. Only then will you get the full lifting power from your wedges. It costs just a few euros and you get the maximum lifting power and lifespan out of your felling wedges. Here's a small but really important tip for everyone, especially Milwaukee users. These buttons down here for gear selection. You're constantly hitting this button by accident. Put a small piece of plastic on the bottom and then a logger's tape adhesive pad over it. And you'll never accidentally hit that button again. Otherwise, it always happens. You set the wedge, finish cutting, wrong gear's in, and you have to reselect. Absolute do. Deactivate this button for forestry work. When buying your machine, really pay attention to the batteries. They should be high-performance batteries. Those old 5 amp-hour batteries aren't what we really want to be using long-term out here in the woods. We don't go out with an old small chainsaw either. We want a powerful modern saw. Think about large batteries. They provide the energy for the machine, which it then transfers to the wedge. If there's a bottleneck there, even the best wedge and impact wrench can't compensate for it. Absolute don't. The socket must always be completely seated on the hex head. Don't start the machine if the socket is only halfway on. And also stop when the hex head disappears into the nut. Please stop in the felling wedge and reposition. Then it'll last a long time and the hex head will never get rounded off. Absolute do. I don't even own a chainsaw belt anymore. Forestry tape measure, wrench on the belt. And here's a repositioning wedge. Slide it into reposition, support it firmly. Then turn it back and go further in. Also important when repositioning, if this plastic wedge disappears into the wood, and there's still a full load on it, you have to be careful, because the tree will press the plates down behind the plastic wedge and you won't be able to turn it back properly. Watch out for that. If you see it coming, better slide it further out of the tree so the plastic wedge doesn't disappear behind the bark. It makes repositioning much easier. Felling direction is good. Everything's good. We have one more little thing here. Absolute do. Go to the upper limit of the specification for the hinge thickness. This prevents accidental overcutting. and it holds its direction much better when it falls than if the hinge is very, very thin. The felling wedge provides the lifting power. That's no longer an issue. Absolute do staggered cutting heights. This prevents hitting the felling wedge and damaging it when finishing the cut. Tip! If it ever gets damaged, like a corner missing, no problem, you can resharpen it to a certain extent. And then it still works exactly the same way, no stress. Last tip for transporting your tools. Quite simple, attach a strap like this to your combi canister. Slide in the repositioning wedge. With the ValLink, it's one filling unit. And that way, you can walk comfortably to the next tree. Thanks, and see you next time.